What is going on, guys? We back at it, and today I'm running up one of my least favorite characters in this entire game, but we're gonna make him interesting. So if you've been around the block for a little bit on this channel, you're probably aware of me talking about the dreaded Koji Kaya players. Oh my, I was saucing. The dreaded Koji Kaya players who just, because this is a real thing, man. There's an archetype of people out there who just run away, they play bow, and they just play annoying as shit, man. And Kojis and Kayas tend to be the prime suspects of that playstyle. And I don't like it, man. I think that's a big issue at high level play, is the playstyle of just running away and waiting for your opponent to attack first. And Kojis and Kayas tend to be that character. But that's not to say Koji in himself is a boring character, because this guy's pretty fun. His weapon combo's good, you know, and his SIGs are valuable, and they provide real assistance to his kit. I could word that a little better, but I'll demonstrate what I mean with with bow. Bow is a better example of that than Koji's sword kit, to be honest. So Koji is kind of a juggle god with bow, and it's because of N SIG, man. This SIG, you can just cycle it with N light and just keep your opponent above you at all times. So I'm gonna see if I can demonstrate that. Forgive me, because this guy, I'm playing against a complete douchebag right now, so it's a little trickier, but you know, bow is already the juggle god, right? Bow is the weapon that juggles in this game, man. And to add an N SIG on top of that, which is straight up, it covers the area where bow N light misses, which is kind of useful, but you also have Nair, which is a crazy juggle tool. There's a reason this weapon is crazy for juggling, but having an extra option that can kill like crazy is very powerful. The N SIG also comes out extremely fast on bow, meaning it's one of the few characters where delay N SIG when your opponent doesn't have a dodge is somewhat consistent. Now, it's no Diana delayed N SIG, that combo's stupid, but it is somewhat reliable to hit, but that honestly doesn't come up too often. It comes up all the time for Dianas though, so I don't know. Mate. I really don't play this character much, if you can't tell, but this is what I was doing the other day. This is the inspiration of this video, so let's cut to the chase, bro. The only fun way to play Koji, not actually, but one of the most fun ways to play Koji is just to mash sword down SIG. And unfortunately, my opponent appears to have a brain, so it's gonna be a little trickier to land on him, but it moves you so far, and it's just a funny SIG, man. It's not a very good SIG. I think it's decent. I think it's different, which is generally a good thing for SIGs to be different, because you want things that complement your moveset. An example of a SIG that doesn't complement the moveset whatsoever would be Jala sword down SIG. That shit is literally just like an amped up sword down light, and there's not really a reason to do it when you have sword down light, which can already true combo into other better options, right? This guy's annoying. Get out of here, boy. So yeah, man, that's Koji, but go ahead, go in there, see what happens. But we got other stuff to talk about. Once again, if you've been around the block on this channel, you know we started off with a little Brawlhalla introduction, and then I flow into some psychology thing that I'm interested in. Or not really psychology, but it's usually psychology related. But today I want to talk about AI, because before I hopped on today, I was using some AI in my car to help look for new foods to eat, right? Because my diet is pretty one-dimensional. I like rice, chicken, and broccoli. I like eggs. I'll have like tacos and stuff. You get the point. Like, I really don't have many options. So I was looking up different like good ideas for meals that I can make, and AI just feels like cheating. I don't know. It feels so overpowered, man. And I wonder what I would do without it, because it has been extremely useful over these past few months or so, and I just feel almost guilty using it. And I know it's stealing all my data too as I use it, so that doesn't help. And I don't know, dude. The internet's a weird place, man, because it's so helpful, but at the same time, is AI really making the world happier? I think I love to learn, man, and it makes learning really easy, but is that a good thing, man? Is it a general positive thing in the world? I would say most people would agree that AI is not a net positive. It's really good for learning, but everyone's kind of back in their mind it's like some kind of fear that AI is going to take over, you know? Not, even if it's not necessarily like Terminator level takeover, but you get the idea, man. The potential's obviously there. I feel like personally in my life, it'd be kind of hypocritical to say that the internet and stuff in general, even just outside of AI, just the internet as a whole is a net negative, because I've made so many good memories using the internet and stuff, like playing Minecraft with my friends and stuff back in the day and making videos and stuff. This is what I truly enjoy. And it's kind of puzzling to me because, you know, I like to attribute a lot of things back to like evolutionary psychology and how humans have kind of evolved to be. And it doesn't really make sense why I like Minecraft so much and stupid shit like that. Oh shit, this guy's such a sweat, dude. He really dodged that. This guy's lame. So I don't know, it's puzzling. And I could kind of see like, what the hell? How are you gonna fumble that shit? I almost snagged him. I could kind of see how Minecraft would like fulfill that like inner adventure inside of you that we don't really get to do anymore, you know? There's just too many warehouses and shit to really be able to venture out on your own and harvest shit. I don't know, man. I'm going pretty deep here, but this guy's not helping because he's playing like a complete dickhead. Get down there, fat ass. Get down there, freaking bitch. Oh my god. On the contrary though, like even if I don't understand why stuff like Minecraft makes me happy, it does, man. I would say it generally has improved my life. Not just Minecraft, but YouTube and all that. But the other side of the argument would be, hold up. The other side of the argument would be like stuff like TikTok and Instagram Reels and stuff. I hate that shit so much, and that is personally one of the worst things available on the internet in my opinion. And also like Twitter, because there are so many people who waste their entire lives on Twitter and they're just actual losers, like, and it's not even like me just being mean, like you're actually a loser if you're like all up in other people's business, like you're following all of like what your favorite streamers doing and shit, and you're like defending them like your life depends on it. Like you're just a loser if you do that, and it's fine. We've all had loser states, but it's important to understand eventually that you are being that you are being a complete loser. Like in 10th grade when I was on Twitter and shit, just like tweeting about Brawlhalla and stuff to 5 followers, I was a loser, and I can admit that, and I'm not afraid to admit that. Even I back then did not take it nearly as far as some people do now though, where it's just like you just sit on Twitter all day. It's I don't know, dude. This is so, it's hard to talk about because my argument is just like you're using this platform, but it just makes me cringe, man. It's just one of those things. But that's kind of like a me thing, because I've talked about this with my friends, and my one friend says his thing is kind of like, he feels like sometimes video games get bad. That was a good kill. But he feels that way about video games, where he feels like he sometimes spends too much time on video games when you're not even having fun. And that's the main thing. If you're having fun, does it really apply to Twitter? I don't know. Personally, when I go on Twitter, I'm not truly having fun. Usually I'm just procrastinating something else. And that's where the problem lies. You know when you're truly having fun, I feel like. Like, shit, I thought I could snag that. You know when you're truly having fun. It's just, when you're on Twitter and stuff, you're not. You're not having fun. And that's the problem, man. And he feels like sometimes he spends too much time on video games, and that's like his thing. That's the thing he doesn't like. That's my reels. And I agree with that. I feel like sometimes I do that, especially with this game, where I'll just hop on and procrastinate something else. And that is the downside of these platforms, because they are just so, they're meant to be engaging and addicting and stuff, and you could take it too far very easily. So I don't know, man. That's as far as I'll go with that. Maybe I'll eventually come up with more concrete thoughts. I feel like I was kind of spewing around a lot of shit, but I still like talking about it. Because I'm always trying to learn more, you know? I feel like a lot of people don't try to learn things. They don't try to learn about their life more. And maybe that's just a very narcissistic perspective to have, but I truly don't think people really sit down and just think about what they could do to make themselves happier and stuff. And ooh, that was smooth. Too bad that sig is honestly kind of ass. You see how little distance that set him? And it sends it a 45-degree angle, the worst angle in this game, because it's hardest to kill that way. Whatever, man. What was I talking about? I feel like people don't genuinely, like, I think every day about what I could improve about myself and stuff, and I try to learn more about how my brain works, like how I think specifically and stuff. And I mean, it's easy to, like, I feel like an easy example of this would be like people who say they suffer from ADHD, right? Which I'm not completely denying that it doesn't exist or anything. I think there are people with something like that, but the issue with a disorder like that is the symptoms are so broad that it can really be applied to anyone. And when you attribute yourself and your problems to having this condition, you think more to take Adderall and shit and find a way to get rid of it rather than just learn about how your brain thinks and stuff. Because, you know, people who claim they have ADHD, because quite frankly, I'm not even gonna like bullshit or sugarcoat it here. There are so many people who say they have ADHD and they definitely do not. I went to a psychology club meeting at my college last semester, like a couple months ago, and literally like 90% of the people in there said they had ADHD, and then they went on to say the same thing about OCD, and you just know that shit is cat, man. There's no chance all of you have that. I understand, like, maybe people with ADHD are more likely to join the psychology club or like shit arguments like that, but no, dude, I don't believe that whatsoever. Instead of like attributing your flaws and how you think and stuff to this condition that you basically just self-diagnose, but you did self-diagnose, and even if you went to a doctor, like, they'll diagnose you if you ask them to, man. It's been a reoccurring problem that people talk about. I'm no expert, but half the people you ask, they're like, yeah, I got diagnosed by my doctor, so I have to have it. The point is, focus on improving yourself instead, like, learn more about yourself instead of instantly basically giving up and saying, this is how I am. I can't do any better. I can't focus in class because I have this condition. I need to take Adderall for the rest of my life. That is so stupid, man. And it's just, I hate it. I hate it so much. Freaking fix your life. So, that's my ADHD spiel. This will probably be the last one because I freaking hate playing against this guy. He's such fart face. How does that miss, man? What else we got going on, man? Sorry I haven't uploaded in like a week. I would say I'm busy, but I kind of wasn't. I kind of just got caught up with other projects I'm working on. The scripted video for this channel is still in the works. I'm excited for that. I think it's good. It's gonna be like 45 minutes long, so that's why it's taking me so long. It's not like I'm just cooking up a 10-minute video. Fuck this game. I'm not playing you, bro. Freaking douchebag. So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. Is the scripted videos in the works, my other channel's videos in the works, and I'm gonna try and upload more here because I enjoy it. I just got kind of caught up. But yeah, man. We're gonna end it there. That guy was not fun to play against. Sometimes I wonder if, like, Should I stick those games out that I'm clearly not having fun in, or should I just accept that I'm gonna lose? But my ego gets shattered, that's the problem. But deep down, I know if I'm playing Ragnar, that kid gets sauced. So I can always fall back on that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one. Peace.